Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Raptor X here with Raptor X Games, and today we are back in Star Citizen. I'm going to do something a little different than I normally do. With all the talk of a wipe upcoming, which Highlander at CIG confirmed will happen at some point, although I think it's unlikely for 4.6, I figured I'd start doing some videos on making money again. I was looking at the new event with 4.5, the Prices Surge event, and discovered that there is a route that one can run here in the Crusader area that can make around 118,000 per run, and only takes around 10 minutes or so, probably with loading and unloading. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that today. You'll need about 350,000 or so to do it, plus a cargo vehicle capable of carrying around 64 SCU. Obviously, if you have more than that, then you can make more money with each run, but the C1 is relatively inexpensive to purchase in-game, and should make a good entry for doing this sort of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll play through this here. You'll get to see the process from start to finish, and we'll kind of see how much time it takes to do this. I've brought along a max lift tractor beam, the tractor rifle, and I've also got the little hand tool, the pyrotechnic utility tool with a true hold tractor beam attachment. I'm going to test and see which is more effective for moving around these 8 SCU boxes. I believe 16s are also available, and this is one of those routes where you should be able to do both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll out here, and we're going to look for Deacon's Research Outpost. This one is on Yela. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to head there.
Launch complete.
And we are going to be picking up thermal foam.
Landing gear up. Shields off.
There's probably not too many people causing trouble at this time in the morning when I'm recording this, but I'm going to go ahead and
Engage. Quantum travel complete.
try and stop short of that.
Contact.
Never mind, I take that back. There are people causing trouble up here. Oh, and we're in an interdiction field. Alright, well, we're just going to go ahead and try and burn out of here. There we go. It looks like it's a very short localized one. So we're just going to go ahead and jump out. We'll avoid that one on the return trip.
Quantum travel complete.
Alright, so we are at Yela. We're going to go ahead and we're going to find Deacon's Research Outpost. And we're going to go ahead and jump down there.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
go ahead and do a couple of scans on my approach here, just to try and make sure that I'm not wandering into a trap with a bunch of hostiles in the area. This is a cutlass of some sort. I'm not sure if this is a blue or a black. If that's a blue, we may be looking at an interdiction there. We may be looking at several interdictions here. I may very well be wandering into a trap here. If you see something like this on your own approach, take precautions. Maybe find another one to take off from. There we go. There's some thermal foam sitting right there. With the event going on, this is something that's very much a possibility.
Shields on.
This is an armistice zone. I'm going to go ahead and just scan this one here. And we'll see. There we go. We'll just go ahead and scan this one and we'll see if there's anyone on board. And if so, we might be trying the other location here. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look. Game rules. Alright, so this one has been abandoned. It's not owned by a player any longer. So I think I should be relatively safe.
Docking initiated. Docking denied. Landing gear
In
down.
running this. And then go ahead and we're going to land. Maybe a little farther forward. There we go. If you didn't happen to bring a tractor beam with you, the C1 has a helpful little tractor beam console right over there. So it is entirely possible to load this without a tractor beam with you and run all of this without it. But I do find the handheld ones to be a little more effective. Close this one back up again and maintain the air pressure inside the rest of my ship there. And we're going to go ahead and close this one up again. To keep any ne'er-do-wells from hopping aboard my ship. Looks like we've got a Argo raft over there as well. It's quite cold over here on Yela right now, -16 Celsius, which I suppose in the scheme of things as far as space goes isn't that chilly, but compared to our earthling temperatures, it's a little cold. We'll look around and find the location where we can actually purchase stuff. I've not been down here in a little while, so I'm a little less familiar with where everything is actually located. I think it's with these red pylons over here on top of the building. We'll take a look. There we are. So you would definitely want to look for the ones with the red pylons. You take a look around and just make sure that there's no one in here waiting and spying on me here. See if there's anything worth taking here. Amber suit. Cruise pulse, we'll take that. And a true hull tractor beam attachment. And look, another pyro multi-tool. Excellent. Guess it's not going to allow us to take those. Always useful to have one of those on whenever you're going anywhere. Alright, let's go ahead and get this started. I don't have one of those fancy timers to put over this, but we'll take a look here and see what we can find. So, in stock, we're going to go ahead and we're going to come down and look. Oh, thermal foam. It's currently out of stock. You might run into that actually. Alright. We're going to be heading over then to the other location. This one is on Celin. There was a piece of thermal foam that was sitting here. Oh, hang on. I doubt that's my ship. Might very well have company here, surely. Anyway, once this event is finished, this thermal foam should be much more readily available. Whew. Still very cold inside here, apparently. Depending on where you look. Some of the interaction prompts in here are all too easy to hit randomly. Alright, so the other location then is, I believe, called Hicks, and that one's on Celin. There we go, Hicks Research Outpost. I'm going to go ahead and pop over there, and we'll check and see if there is any
Launch complete.
available
Gear
there.
up. Shields off.
Trying to flip through my various different targets here and see if there's anyone inbound. Looks like that C2 was moving.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete. Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete. Quantum travel engaged.
It's always interesting, the approach in to the different planets. moons and watching their surfaces come to life as you approach. I've been having an issue recently with the surfaces of moons not properly displaying their textures. It looks like this one's working. I've never noticed that giant asteroid impact crater there. That's pretty cool. Alright, what do we have? Looks like a couple other people who are doing the same thing as me. Potentially a couple of spies in the area. Just gonna look quickly and see. Alright, those are all rocks, it looks like. Just not displaying properly. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll come over here to Hicks, and we're just gonna take a look and see what we're actually, whether there's any of these available to purchase. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm having the same ground rendering problem. There we go. Sometimes going into third person there with F4 will enable that. I'm going to go ahead and we'll land on the pad here.
Docking initiated. Docking denied. Landing gear down.
There we go. All these duels on Crusader ships, they're great if you're trying to keep the atmosphere inside your ship. But it makes for a little bit of a longer run if you're walking around. Let's go ahead and close that. I am going to go ahead and take a little look around and see medical supplies. Looks like that's what most of these are. Yep, alright. Well, we'll leave those ones alone then. Same there. Those could probably be taken and traded off. We might have a bit of an issue here as well, if the elevators are not working. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll head over to, should be this one. Might very well have to bedlock to find a working server. If people have been disabling the elevators to try and funnel all the business to one area. Thermal foam, low inventory. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to select Hicks Research. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get 64. So I'm going to need four of those. It's going to cost me 353,000. We'll go ahead and buy them. There we go. And we've now got those stored at our inventory here, which means I can get on at any server and get those unloaded. We're going to go ahead and come over here to this particular landing pad. And we'll see if the elevators are working here. It appears, since they're both down. I may check on that one. There we go. Alright, so we do have that. I'm going to check the elevator actually functions here. There we go, it does. So we're going to see about moving over our ship so that we can do some loading and unloading here. So if we go ahead and start the timer for about 21 minutes or so into the episode, we'll see if we can actually get this one to work. Excellent. Alright, we're going to go ahead and bring these 16 SCU crates up out of the storage here. Open this up. We'll go ahead and we'll pop on board. Open this one up. And we'll go ahead and start loading these. Ooh, much too heavy apparently to move from that distance. Got to sneak him in over the door jam. Perfect. Alright, so that's that. We'll go ahead and try now with this one. Probably significantly easier to move these with the tractor rifle. It's not as quick with the rotations, I believe, as it is with the little handheld tool. But it does make transversal movement much faster. Of course, you can grab things from a much longer distance. There we go. Alright. We'll go ahead and bring the ramp up here. Close this back up. Verify that we don't have any lurkers on board. Looks like we should be clear. Whew! Cold out there on Celin. Alright, we're going to go ahead and lift off here. And I'm going to do a quick scan for targets that are above the horizon. Not landed on the surface. It doesn't look like there are any. So we should be good to take off here. I'm going to go ahead and program in my destination here. We are going to be going to CRU-L1, Ambitious Dream Station. It's a short jump of about 2 million kilometers, or I suppose gigameters, since that's what CIG insists on using. We're going to go ahead and spool up our quantum drive. And we're going to head out there. This is also the most dangerous portion of the mission. of the hauling event here was going to be jumping from Horizon, or the Crusader area, over to CRU-L1. It's a direct line jump, and you'll often, well, not often I suppose, but when you have gankers that are pirates that are sitting here waiting to jump you on your approach, they're going to be sitting somewhere right around here waiting for you to jump in from Crusader. It looks like we don't have any on this particular jump, so we should be good here. I'm also not seeing any hostile targets here, so we should be good. Go ahead and request landing.
Shields on.
And excellent. We have a hangar. Let's go find where that is. There we go. Looks like we do have a reclaimer out there. Dangerous, but only if they're interested in attacking us, and we have enough maneuverability to get away, and we're far enough away from them that it's not something I'm concerned about. We're going to go ahead and we're going to land here quickly. Put the landing gear down.
Landing gear down. Landing complete.
We're going to take back off again just to... that gets the doors closing. I'm going to go ahead and we'll move this around. Like so. I do want it still on the pad so that I can quickly store this. It looks like it's properly contained within that bounding box. So I'm going to go ahead and hop out here and start unloading. Now the nice thing about all of this is once you've made that jump from either Yela or from Celin, you're inside an armistice zone on both the takeoff location and the arrival location. Now we're going to decline that, since I don't know what they might say, and I'm recording a video. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put this thermal foam into there. There we go. 1, 2. Just gotta watch for the door jam there. 3. And 4. go ahead and send these down to our storage. Interesting that there are now fire extinguishers there on the wall, so it's good. We can go ahead and store our ship if we wish to. I'll just be heading back out again as soon as this particular segment is done, so I'm just going to leave it up for right now. We'll head down to the lobby, and we're going to go to the Galleria. We're just over 10 minutes from our purchase and begin loading. We're going to head down to the Galleria here. And we're going to look for the admin terminal. It's always orange, so we'll have a quick look around. There we go. You've got your crime stat location right there. And then there's our commodity shop. We'll go ahead and local market value. We're going to get into our CRU-L1 ambitious dream station. There we go, in demand. And we're going to go ahead and sell this. And we've gone from around 350 to 486,000. We'll go ahead and sell that. And there we go. We've made about 118,000, 117,000 or so with that short run, about 10 minutes. So when the wipe inevitably comes, once you hit that 350,000 marker, it's entirely possible to make this run in about 10, maybe 15 minutes. You'll have your return trip, of course, back, but you're grossing somewhere around 200 to 400,000 Alpha UEC per hour running this. I'm sure after you confirm that things are working, you can make a return trip much quicker and have a much easier time. If you start to build in precautions and that sorts of things, it can take a little bit longer, but if you're just making that short jump backwards and forwards, you can do that very quickly and easily. And with that, that's going to be the end of today's video. Thank you for watching, along with the difficulties of operating in Star Citizen, where some of the time things don't work as they're supposed to. I've been Raptor X. Thank you for watching. Consider going ahead and hitting that like and subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone. Ta-ta.